What's up, everyone? Today I am talking about how I got to be on a 15-minute beat battle on one of the biggest lo-fi channels on YouTube, LDre. It was wild. It was late at night. Just the story real briefly. It was 11 p.m. at night on a weeknight. I can barely remember which night it was even, but I got a notification that LDre was going on stream and I was doing some work. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll listen to LDre. And he's like, guys, I need video ideas. And so people are chatting him up, random ideas. Chris Punsalon, who also runs a big YouTube channel, was there. And he was like, hey, why don't you do a Mr. Beast, like $1 million beat battle or something like that? And he's like, well, I don't got that kind of money, but the chat went crazy laughing. And then how about $100 beat battle though? But you only have 15 minutes, 10 minutes to make the beat. And they're like kind of working it out. And LDre's so crazy. I love him. He just talks it up and he's like, all right, let's do it. I need a video. And he's like, who wants to join my 15-minute beat battle? And it's like after 11 o'clock at night here in LA. And I was just watching people join up. There were 4 spots, 3 filled up immediately, a 4th guy dropped out, and I'm like, maybe I should try for it. Maybe I should join. I was 3rd or 4th, I can't remember which, but I jumped in and it was so much fun. It was crazy. But real quick, how do you get into stuff like this? And I haven't been producing for very long. It's been almost a year now. I think it'll be a year in like November or December. And I would just like to say one thing. Community is opportunity. I actually have a little write-up, some notes on this. I'm like, yo, because if you don't know, community has been like one of the biggest opportunities for me as a young producer, a new producer, to like develop at, I don't know, 10x the rate I would have developed otherwise. 7 thoughts on this, but I'm gonna blow through it super fast. 1, learning together is faster than learning alone. There's a saying. It goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's not exactly what I just said, but I think it's true. Yeah, I probably could have gone faster if I just head down, stay in the DAW, work, watch YouTube videos by myself. But all of these discussions with other producers on Discord, in Tetro's server, LJ server, Decap server, like, it just really pushed me, because point 2, there's a lot of support, and point 3, I get to support other people too, right? I get to be supported and I get to support other people. And big surprise, I can actually help other producers, even though I haven't been producing very long, because we all have different experiences. I've been playing music in church for the last 20 years, so I actually have something to say to contribute to the discussion. And they know a lot of stuff that I don't know, and it's just been a wonderful place to keep on learning. 4 and 5 are kind of like jumping off of that. Getting feedback and giving feedback. Now, getting feedback's obviously good. I don't have monitors in my house. I do the car test, so I don't know how my music's gonna sound on proper speakers until I put it on in the car. However, I've got a lot of friends with good monitors, so I just throw them my work in progress, and they listen. They're like, okay, that was good. EQ the bass, EQ the hats, blah, blah, blah. But they give a lot of musical feedback too, structure feedback. I think that could have hit harder. Double up your kick drum, stuff like that. And I'm giving feedback even as a new producer. So there's this server, You Suck at Producing, which goes with the channel, You Suck with Producing, Underbelly's channel. Something they say in their feedback channels, don't say you don't know what to say when you give feedback. Just go with it. Talk about what you do know. Talk about what you do get. And something I've realized is after giving feedback on, I don't know, probably 50 tracks, maybe 100 tracks now on different servers, different friends asking me, what do you think? Expression deepens impression. Like, as you talk about beats, as you talk about music, it makes a deeper impression on you. It forces you to think about, what do you know? How do you explain it in the simplest way for others? That's why I love making these videos too. And last You get to share your music, of course. You get an extra boost when you share it. And 7th, you get random opportunities to do cool stuff. And that's what this was. It was a random opportunity. LDre pings, 11 p.m., 15-minute beat battle. Who wants in? I want in. Next thing I know, I'm on his Zoom or whatever it was. And he's looking at my DAW. He's like, okay, here's the sample. Ready, go. And I was like, dang, this is crazy. So random opportunities come from community. Community is opportunity to learn together, to support, be supported, feedback, give it, get it, share your music, find your audience, build your audience, and crazy random opportunities. Like I've won probably $400 in free plugins, or not plugins, samples, a few t-shirts, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of exposure. It's just been so fun. Yeah. Real quick before I jump into the beat, I'm about to jump in. Shout outs to chat. What up, Mo Beats and Raps? Love the rebrand. Actually, you're not alone. Wizlo, the wizard. Fantastic beats and where to find them. Wizlo Production. Rashane is in the chat. Michael G dropped by. Bishop is here. Check out all these people's channels too. If you're not in this, if you don't know them yet, all of them are super legit. Friends of the channel, love them to death. But yeah, I'll drop Discord links in the description when this is done. But I'm gonna hop right in and show you what I made. So switch over to Ableton Cam. And this is it. Let me turn off looping. So the challenge was this: take a sample, and I'll play you the sample in a moment, and you have 15 minutes to flip it into a beat. I was up against 3 other producers from LDre's chat server. His Twitch audience, I've only been watching his Twitch for like, I don't know, a half year maybe, probably less. So all these people know each other. They're all decently big names in his server too, actually. These are guys that regularly win the battle. So I was honestly pretty scared. Although I have been training for this. I've got lots of streams on my channel, if you look back, if you're new here, where I do 10-minute beat challenges for myself. So best prep ever, right? Already doing it live on stream, already doing it in 10 minutes. I had a whole 15, but with the big audience and a bigger audience coming on YouTube. So this was the sample. And it's a little bit longer than that, but you get the idea. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's interesting. It was a totally random sample. Someone threw it into the Discord server because LDre is just like, yo, someone throw a server or someone throw a sample in. And there were 3 samples. He liked that one best. And so that's what we went with. 15 minutes on the timer. Boom. And let me show you what my process was. My main process was 4 steps. 4 steps. And the first step was I immediately opened Serato. In fact, I think I already had it open in a tab. So I opened up Serato sample, and I'm a massive Serato sample fan. Let me turn on drum pads on this. So what you can see, I did something called auto chop. And when you first open Serato sample, you can find samples. I don't want to do it right now because that'll kind of mess up what I got, but it automatically chops up a sample into interesting chops. It doesn't always work, granted. That's a caveat, but I found some pretty good ones. I only had 15 minutes, so I didn't have much time to think about things. And so what I did was immediately I went to work and I took the first chop that I found that I liked, which was, let me just isolate that. And that's actually all it was. I can't even do it anymore. Yes, you could totally do this with Ableton Sampler. Wiz just threw into the chat. Simpler is a fantastic sampler. I just really like the UI, like the interface, the colors, that I can do key shifts and time stretches just very quickly, easy. It does everything that Simpler does, almost all of this. It might not be able to just do it all at once the same way, or in a way that's as easy to understand. But you've got a lot of depth with this thing. And anyway, I barely had time to think, so I just went with that immediately. Bump, 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 bump. Oh, oh, Wiz, it has auto chop? I did not know, for real. Oh, dang, I gotta look into that. The next thing I did right after that was I went with drums. And I just have like all my samples open here. Like I have one folder on Ableton. It just shortcuts to all my splice packs. So I also have one folder. I don't know if it was there. Yeah, I keep one folder. Purple is typically my super fast production folder where I keep all my favorite stuff. But I went on to the samples and I went to splice. I think I had it open already, but I just immediately jumped into a random decap drums that knock pack because decap loops are awesome, especially good for battle, noisy. Small risk, by the way, because a lot of people on the server know Decap and listen to his music. They're on Decap's channel, his server do all the time, but I just went with it because it hits hard. And it was kind of the vibe I wanted with this Serato thing. So to hear those two things together, let me, yeah, I think, is it just those two right now? So just loop that up. This was basically my whole first part, and I probably spent about, I mean, it didn't take that long to explain it, but just figuring out that chop, I don't know, that was like maybe 5 minutes or something. And then after that, I was like, okay, we got to put an 808 on it real fast because it needs something punchy and loud. So I opened up Sublab. Props to the Wiz, by the way, Always Low Productions, for telling me it was on sale one day. But I opened up Sublab. You've got a lot of different 808s all lined up here. And I've experimented with all of them a little bit at least. So I knew more or less there were like 3 that I was interested. Depth charge fit the bill. And that sounds like this. And basically that's all I had to come up with. I looped it. I wanted to go for a full 8 bars. It's good to have things switch up every 8 bars. So I figured, all right, I'll just do 4 bars and 4 bars and double it up. And altogether it sounds like this. Activate again. I figured that out pretty fast actually. And I think a lot of it has to do with that experience playing live music with real people in real life. So yeah, I mean, that experience was a lifesaver that night. Being able to figure out what this was in a hurry. I think it also, I can't figure out where I put the original sample. Oh yeah. I don't know if I want to push that button, but I think the key was written on the sample, so that was a big clue. So in any case, I was working with an octave down. I think it was A minor. But in any case, what I find is root note is always a good place to start. And fifths are always safe too. And octaves of those things. So I came up with that bass line in a hurry. That wasted a little bit of time. I could have been smoother with that. But in any case. So that's where it was at, and I had a little bit of time left. Probably had a little bit more than 5 minutes, but I really quickly went to one of my favorite keyboards, which was in Addictive Keys. I think I just went with Studio Grand this time. I threw RC20 on it to give it a little extra flavor, so I put Vinyl 3 setting, and also Vinyl 1. I don't know what I was thinking, working that fast. Just to solo that part. Or actually, let me just turn it up. So actually what I did, I'm really bad at playing octaves, but what I did was it took me a few tries to get it right, so I just let it record, and I just kept going. So let me just deactivate the clip. So what I was doing was I was listening to it. So I'm like, oh, hit that one. Okay. I almost got it the first time, and it took me maybe like 2 repeats to get it right, maybe 3. And yeah, it worked out. I recorded it. I click dragged the thing. So once I recorded it, I really quickly grabbed all my notes. So I could actually octave this down too if I wanted. I don't know if that would sound cool. It might. Well, I know. Just more powerful, I guess. Anyway, let me turn off utility, turn that back down. I've actually been into using utility a little bit more than solo. I can't remember which channel I heard that on, but it's a neat little trick to be able to hear my solo tracks but more in context. So anyway, I came up with that little lick, put it together, feeling really good. And then what I did after that, I let the sample ride for a little bit. And then there's a little trick coming at the end right here. Whoa, tape stop. How did that even happen? Automation, and one of my favorite plugins. I threw this plugin that I like called Vinyl on the master. I don't know how everyone feels about putting stuff on your master. I do it all the time because it's a shortcut for me. Maybe not the best plan for everything ever, but basically what I had going is I have this Vinyl plugin activate a spin down. So you can actually use it anytime on the track. So it hits probably about right here. So it spins the whole thing down. It is a super fun effect, whether you just put it on one track or on the master, but I just love automating it and throwing it on to give transitions a little extra wildness, a little extra flavor. It's a great ending to a track. Yeah, and honestly, so how did I actually do? I placed second! I was only 2 votes off from the top. That actually made me so excited because honestly, when I got in, I was like, wow, this is going to be great YouTube channel material. I hope I don't choke and fall on my face and totally die and embarrass myself. But I hung in there and got second place. So that was really fun, really cool. I was totally stoked to grab second. A little disappointed because I was only 2 votes off from first, but man, to talk about one more thing, why do I think I got second? I think the other 2 beats were fire. Dude, this kid Tank, he's 13 years old and he made a banger. And so did the other guy, Sike Beats, like, not as young as Tank, but he's a young guy too. And they just pulled out these amazing beats in such a short amount of time. And I think one thing that might have set my beat a little bit apart of the pack and a little bit ahead was, besides that, the chops. I think the chop was interesting. I don't know if anyone chopped it exactly like that. I had these weird spooky keys. People call them spooky keys. I thought they were kind of more like, I don't know, a little bit more Spanish or something. But in any case, I had an intro and an outro. I don't know if the audience was feeling that or thinking about that, but I think it's always a big plus. So if you check out one of the other videos on my channel, this is the intro I completely overused, and it's a great go-to intro, just a temp intro while I'm figuring out stuff. And sometimes I like it so much I just leave it. And the temp intro is basically do your A section or something like it and automate, what is this? A high cut. that's what it is in context. So that's my beat. I did that in 15 minutes, hands up. It was like Iron Chef. He wants hands up at the end. Don't make any more music. Don't do anything. I'm going to check you. He's watching us and he's like, all right, send me your finished songs, files, all that. MP3. Did it. And it did really well. You guys got to hear that one though, because let me see if I can pull it up. I think I had it in another tab. Yeah. There's me, by the way. But, so the beat that won.
No Prob, you're last, bro.
Hopefully you guys are hearing this. If you're still in the stream. He's got that lead. This is my disappointment. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. There's Sike Beats. There's no webcam.
That guy made a whole song.
At this point, I knew it was over. House keys. What?
Those house keys.
What? Oh no. But I was feeling it. I was like, this kid, he's crushing it. It's 2 in the morning or something where he was too. I was like, dang, he went hard. He knows it too, is the best part. That kid vibes so hard, you got the blue screen death.
That was no.
So yeah, he won it. This is so bad. This is me talking about a battle. Anywho, how did I lose? Dude, the kid made a whole beat, like not a whole song. Like it had an A section, it had a B section with keys. How do I even compete? And I realized I gotta elevate this. And I realized 2 things. So the first thing I thought as soon as I lost was like, oh, I should have put some risers on it. Yeah, risers would have helped. So let me just demonstrate what I was thinking I should have done. 1, I would have dropped a riser on it. I think a riser, this is one of my favorites. This would have been nice. Just drop that there. Nice little hit there. I don't know, maybe an impact of some sort. Probably could use another one here, you know, just like, so whenever I come back to this section. That, for some reason, that first note is not hitting as hard. That one seems to hit harder to me. Right? I don't know. Is it an EQ thing? Oh, it's because vinyl's on already, too. But that's alright, because I guess it's like my outro. So my other automation on vinyl was, I have device automating on at that point. So if I pull it back a little bit, that first beat would hit harder. There you go, there it is. "88 risers on the drum rack." Yes, I need a drum rack riser. I realized I was pretty ready for the battle. One thing that I did do as soon as I realized I was actually battling was I actually built out a battle template with complete control on 3 tracks, which unfortunately I didn't use. Addictive keys. I mean, I just went with what I know. I really know addictive keys, Serato, and Sublab, like not super deep, but well enough to work fast. I know decap drums are dope, so I threw that in. But here's where I think I really went wrong. I should have gone for a B section. It would have been so easy, or at least not a B section. Add another 8 bars of this with another instrument. It would have been so simple. Like, I don't know. Just let me zoom out a bit. I've got all my hotkeys. I know my stuff. Just quickly select Control D. Oops. Well, insert. Maybe it would have. See, this is why I lost too. I don't know my stuff as well as I ought to. Oh, insert, right? Insert, create, insert, silence. I probably needed to insert some silence, like, I don't know, 8 bars. Throw 8 bars in there. Is my automation? My automation might have messed up, but it didn't. Yay! It didn't. So I would have then duplicated this thingy thing. Maybe I put another sound on top. Like, I don't know. Complete control. Yeah, you have complete control, Wizard Wiz. So that would be good for you. Something I would just probably jump in control. Like if I had the presence of mind. Remember too, my presence of mind. This is my first live beat battle on a stream. Being watched. I'm gonna be listened to and clowned on by the whole stream. I mean, it was only like I don't know how many people. It was like 30 people that night at most. But I don't like being embarrassed. I did have one 10-minute challenge on my live streams there where I totally choked, and I definitely did not want to do that. I remembered that very clearly suddenly as I started this. Isn't it funny? You remember your losses a lot better than your wins. Anywho, I just jumped in. Yeah, I would probably just go with something safe, like, oh gosh, I can't even find my stuff right now. Here it is. No. Here, all instruments. And I would have gone with something like hybrid keys or maybe lo-fi glow. Lo-fi glow is always fun. And maybe like a sax. Something like that. So like if I was to finish this right now, maybe I would try that. So I would set my loop right here and I'd give myself a little space before, trigger it on, and then I'll record, but clicking these two up here, as I understand it, I don't record notes until I hit my loop. So I could jam and mess around until then. Octave up. Okay, it's looping. And then got it right on the second take, maybe. This is my octave trick. Just grab the whole thing, control drag, and throw it up until I hit the octave, which is there. And it sounds nice, but a little bit too clean, so I don't have to do it fast, but I feel like I'm just talking about this. I'm in battle mode again. PTSD. Throw drip on it. Or Origin. Origin would have been a nice pick too. Something like that. Maybe replica too. Okay, give it a little bit of a delay, echoey kind of thing. really see like that fills it in a bit. You could even like I've got a few other risers that I like. Like let me just throw something in that I enjoy. Like oops, oops, oops. Pull that over. It's maybe something like CDFX Spin Down. That's a fun thing. I leave stuff like that in my favorites. Oh, dropping the piano would be cool. Yeah. It's a little loud. I kind of feel that. I kind of don't. But I guess my point was it needed a little extra something on top. Dropping the piano, or maybe even like switching up the piano a little bit. So like maybe like echoing that part. Something like that. Anywho. That kid killed it though, for real. Big props to No Biscuit. Oh, the artist formerly known as No Biscuit. No Prob now, I think his name is. But that was a super fun stream to be on, and LDre is like one of the coolest people around. If you are not watching LDre's channel somehow and you are watching this, whoever you are in the future, please, please check out LDre. I'll link the battle video that I showed you no probs beat off of. Check out the other producers, Tank and Sike Beats. It's crazy what they made. I love it. I love this battle so inspired because just hanging out, feeling the energy, like I couldn't sleep for a little bit because it was just so much fun and it was such a good time and it was so good. But let me wrap up like this. So, community is opportunity for real. That's a big thing. Practice, practice, practice. I saw this picture drawn out recently. They put it in a really cool way. They were like, success. I'm writing this on the back of an envelope. Like, I'm gonna open it up. Success is what? Success is, it's like three things, and maybe I can draw it. Here, let me put it on the launch key camera. Move this thing out of the way. Success is like a triangle. And on this one side, you've got discipline. It was really important that I did 10-minute beat battles on the regular for, I don't know, weeks. And didn't miss any, and even did some live on stream because I got used to doing it live under time pressure. That was one thing. Discipline, passion is another one. You got to stay excited. Community is a big plus for passion because probably someone out there watching this live stream has friends or people in their lives who are really excited about music production. But what I've found is the vast majority of us that I hang out with don't really have community. So that's a thing. And the last one, the person that taught it to me said philosophy. Let me just put it like this, mindset. I like this word better. But just filling my head with good music, good training, always 1% better, that kind of philosophy, that kind of idea that I just want to keep learning. And also I can do this. It'll be worth it, nothing to lose, all of that. That was a big part of how I even decided to try, much less place second or whatever. I mean, all 4 beats were fire. The other 3 beats were amazing. That being said, that's also what's got me this far, period, as a producer. Props to thank you so much. Really appreciate you, Oyama's Music fam, all of you who are watching, whoever's watching, all of you. But who knows me, all of you. Like seriously, I've got over 100 subs suddenly, and it's only been 2 months, and it's just been such a great ride. I love it. I just dropped an EP. Check it out. Link is in the description. Oyama's Music, the Beach Tape, Volume 1. Do not ask for it on Alexa because it will show you 3 different albums before it shows you mine for some reason. So just type it in. Sorry, folks. Oyama's Music, Beach Tape. Beach Tape Volume 1 is the name of the album. And Beatober's coming! So hype! If you are not part of Beatober yet, you gotta get on this. It's gonna be so hype. We're making beats for charity. Like, I don't know how many of us, but there's a gang of us making beats for charity. Tatro, the YouTuber, the man, the legend, he started this thing last year, and it has grown to be this pretty big looking thing now where a bunch of us are making beats every day for 31 days for charity to help kids on the East Coast in kind of disadvantaged homes and lifestyle and stuff to be making music because gosh, I know music helped me make it through a really psycho year last year. Really crazy for all sorts of reasons, right? So, anywho, thank you so much. It has been a privilege to have you visiting my little video and to check me out. And thank you so much for the support. I would never have even thought to attempt something like this if I didn't have support from folks like y'all watching the video. So, that's it for today. 1% better every time, guys. Oyama's Music out. Here's the outro.